Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an updated version of my original Kenny little loom. The colours we're going to need are a couple of flesh tone bands, some orange, some black, and some of the full-sized pony beads, and they're going to be white. We are going to need your Rainbow Loom hook, which has the base removal tool on the back of it, and our loom is going to be a single loom. We are going to have to do some moving of our bases, which you'll use the back of your hook for, because it's an extended loom figure being squeezed onto a single loom. We're going to have the arrows pointing towards us, that's the open part of the peg, and columns 1 and 3 are going to be slightly higher than column 2. We're double banding. Double banding means you take 2 bands and you place them on the pegs together as if they were a single band. We're going to get started by placing 2 bands here that are going to do nothing for the minute. And we're going to lay the rest of our bands while we ignore those until we get to column 4. If your band is twisted, just put your hook around like that and it will sort of untwist itself. I have some skin tone bands which we're going to place here and here. Now I have to say the most challenging part of the whole moving a single, moving an extended design onto a single loom is working out how to get the crossover bands in the right places. So you will have to bear with me on that one. We're going to be doing a bit of jiggery pokery around on that. Now this from here, we're going to go across to here. And we are going to put an end cap on here. We wouldn't do that normally, but we do need to be able to loop up the face and to move our columns over. And in saying that, I'm going to move this band under, these 2 bands under, so that the end cap is on the top. We're doing orange all the way to the bottom of the loom. And we will do 2 bands from here to here and 2 bands from here to here, and we're going to put a foot on the end here. So take 2 bands black, wrap once and twice, and we will slide onto another 2 bands that are black and reclaim the end of our bands. 2 bands that are black, wrap once and twice, slide onto 2 bands that are black. Take the first set and the pair that are closest to the end of your hook up and off, and swap sides, up and off, and reclaim. Angle the foot so that it goes the correct way, and we will pop that on here like so. That's also kind of acting as an end cap. Now we're going to need some crossover bands, which are nice and easy where we're just using this particular column. So we'll just do these ones to start with, and then up at the face we're going to do one across for the eyes, but let's put our eyes on at this stage. So grabbing your 2 beads, thread them onto an orange band, and we are just going to place them here. Now I know that that's not where they're going to live. This one is going to go all the way over here, but for the moment that's where it just needs to stay. We're going to do another crossover band here and another crossover band here. Okay, let's get started. All we're going to loop up is column number 1. So you're going to dig down. Now with the foot you are going to have to abide by the rules, which means you take the top 2 bands first, which go over here to this side. That's okay, don't worry. The next 2 are going to go across to column 1, which is what we want to deal with. Move back foot. Alright, dig down, find the 2 bottom orange bands, push the crossover bands out of the way with the back of your hook. Okay. Now before we loop up to here we need to add some hands. So grab a single band black, wrap it once and twice, and you're sliding that onto a pair of black bands and reclaiming the end. Okay, we're then going to do 4 pair of orange. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That will get placed here on the shoulder, and now we can continue with looping, and we'll loop that in. We're going to dig down and find the 2 bottom bands here. Alright, now it is actually quite safe for us to loop up this second column, but what we have to be careful about is we need to add our crossover bands. So take a single band and just put it at a diagonal on the peg below it. Okay, now that allows us to loop up this middle column. Up to here, and then dig down, and we will place this here. we're going to now dig down past the end cap and grab the 2 top orange bands and loop them across, and then find the other 2 top orange bands and loop them. Okay, we can now loop up here, which is the face, and take this one and loop it up. That locks that in and allows us to take this off our loom. Okay, so I'm using the back of a metal hook, and I'm just going to gently ease the first column off the loom, but I'm going to make sure that everything is pushed down so that it's nice and secure. Down here, let's move this off the loom. Now turn your loom upside down. We're going to move the big base plate over so that we have space to add a free column, and we will take that column off, and it will be placed at the same height level as column number 2. Alright, we're going to need to place these over it, but first let's add another 2 for column 5, because we want column 5 to have the ones across there as well. And then we move this over like so, try and get them untwisted, and we can now lay the bands for our 4th column. Now I want these bands, these black bands, to be under that crossover band, so I'm lifting the crossover band up and placing that back like that. Same here, because this is going to be stretched over anyway, so I do that and push that down and place that there for the minute. Okay, now it is going to get a bit crowded here because we need to place 2 bands here for this side and for shoulders. Now we're also going to want to add bands from here to here, but let's move our crossover bands over first. Where they're crossed over at a diagonal, you're going to lift up and move to that 4th column. Like that. I'm going to push this down. Now the column that we're going to be taking off next is going to be this one, so all we need to loop up is this little bit here, because we've already done that. But let's add what we need to here. Because we had to loop this across first, we need to lift this up, place 2 bands from here to here, push that down, and replace those 2 bands that were already looped through. We're going to add another 2 bands here for when we have to go across to number 5, but we're going to do our shoe as well. So take 2 bands that are black and wrap once and twice, and you're going to slide those onto 2 black bands and reclaim. 2 black bands, wrap once and twice, and another 2 black bands, slide on. Now before we reclaim, let's take this first set, lift these up and over, and then swap sides with our hook and up and over and reclaim the end of our bands. We're going to pop these on top here like that. Make sure those orange bands stay there, okay? So, as I said, we've looped this one up already. We need to loop up this tiny bit here. Now, it's going to be a little tricky, especially for the eyes, because we haven't really got anywhere to move these eyes to. So, I'm going to lift this up, I'm going to move that eye over, and that's going to sit on this peg here until we're ready for it, so that that budges over here and gives us room to just loop this up. Now, the other thing that we need to be mindful of is we want the black to be looped in as well. Okay, so that means we have to move this one across to here and this one across to here in a holding spot. What we're going to do, using a single black band, we want to get this set out first above this one, but this one was placed last. We need to swap spots with them. Okay, lift this one off and take this one off, replace it with that one first and this one second, so that this one is on the top for us to move. Single band, wrap it once and twice, and we're going to use it as an end cap. Again, this does not happen with the extended version. Dig down past the end cap and find the two black bands that we just laid on top and move them across. Okay, dig down, find the two black bands at the bottom and move them up, and dig down and find the two top black bands and move over to here. Now dig down and find the orange bands and loop up, and these ones and loop across to the side. So we've done that half. That's all we have to worry about at the minute. Let's take this off the loom, and again be so gentle that we don't flip these ones off the loom by mistake. And we'll take this off, and we're on our last column. You'll be breathing a sigh of relief. And it's tricky because all of these crossover bands start becoming quite loose. Okay, so kind of push things down so they don't get too lost. And take that last one off and keep that down like that. All right, turn your loom over. We're going to move these across for the last time. Like that. And let's move this column over as well. We really want that to be sorted. It's going to be the same height as the one, the first column that you see on your loom at the moment. So columns 1 and 3 are going to be the same height. Alright, we already have these bands sitting here waiting for us, doing nothing. Let's pick those up and drag them across to here, and let's lay our bands now. We need to move this across to here. We need to move the eye across to here. Okay, so we'll do that, and that needs to be inside where the black bands are. Okay, this crossover band needs to be over here, but we want to place the band that goes from here to here first. So just place it there for the time being. Grab your two bands, put those in place, and then we can move that to there like that. Okay, now then we're from here to here. We mustn't forget to do the arm. And these two bands can get moved to there. Okay, now if you remember, we have these crossover bands here. Actually, that can stay there. These ones are the ones that get stretched across. So it's the loose ones. So stretching the loose ones across like that. This is a loose one, and they alternate, so it's pretty easy to find out which ones do it. Like that. Okay. We need to do an arm. It needs to sit here. So take a single black band, wrap it once and twice, a double black band, slide on, and now 4 pair of orange. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's going to go on this shoulder here, like that. Alright, let's do this. Dig down, find the bottom 2 bands. That one needs to stay back here. And I got the wrong 2. We need to go sideways first, dig down and find the top 2 bands, hold that in place so it doesn't go walkabout. That can loop there, and now this loops up to there. Again, the top 2 to loop across to here. Now, oops, sorry, didn't mean to headbutt the camera. Bottom 2 and bottom 2. And because this is the last column, you can do all 3. It's only at the face, I believe, that we have a bit of funky footwork to work out again. Now this is going to be a very tight band, okay? It's going from 3 over to column 2, from 2 over to here. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. Dig down, you're going to find the top 2, which are these ones here. See if you can find them, and loop across. And the same again, loop across. Now the reason I say this is tricky is because this is going to be orange bands on top of black, but I don't think it'll matter too much because we'll tie it. Dig down and find the 2 skin tone and another 2 skin tone. Now we have the ability here to lift these 2 black bands up, okay, and place the skin tone first and then replace the black bands there so that the black bands are on top. Okay. The other thing that we probably want to do is, instead of looping that one up, and I'm thinking out loud here, sorry, is loop around, dig down past that end cap, find the two black bands here, get off, loop this up first, then the two black bands. The black always needs to be on top. Loop that there. Loop this to here. Loop this up. And now we can find those two orange bands and loop up. Get a different hook. There we go. Alright, now we dig down here, find those bottom two, and I have just noticed something, and it's going to mess everything up if we're not careful. Instead of being able to loop this one to here, we're going to have to loop this one to here. Okay, so this is the spot we're going to be tying off on, not here. Grab two orange bands, push your hook down and out through the side, and grab those two orange bands onto the hook. Turn your hook so that the smooth side is going to go against those bands, and pull to the back side of this peg. You're going to take the two bands closest to you, up, over and off, and pull tight. And we are ready to take this off the loom. Come on. Stretch this out. Move your loom. And we are moving his eye across to here so that it's in the right spot. Stretch his face out. We're going to take a black band, go under that orange band there, that was the one I was worried about, and we're going to tie a bow. So it's just a knot, like that, and try and make it go to the top of where that orange is. You're going to take your hook and hide these bands down behind the existing bands here at the back, so that we don't end up having to put a clip on. Really the only time I like putting clips on is if I'm using them as keychains. Otherwise I just kind of like to hide them like that. Take a black Sharpie. Now Kenny is always cross-eyed, so I'm going to draw his little eyeballs sort of cross-eyed like that, and there we have Kenny on a single loom. I hope you enjoy making him. Take care.